This segment sponsored by the Potawatomi Zoo. We are here at the zoo with the executive director, Josh, and today we are going to visit the mongoose.
The mongoose.
And so off camera, I learned so much already. So we're going to talk a little bit, and then you're going to feed him.
We're going to feed him. Yeah, I got a whole bucket of crickets here.
No, I don't want to touch them.
You don't want to touch those.
You already made me touch his leg. So tell me a little bit about the mongoose.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to say this because I have to say it about every animal. Those are one of my favorite animals.
You do say that about all the animals.
I love these guys so much. They're from Africa. You know, when we talk about the species survival plans in zoos and how we breed animals and it's all a plan, we don't buy and sell the animals.
Yes.
So I was the program manager for Mongoose for many, many years, which means I managed the entire population of mongoose across the country. It's quite something to have on your resume.
No kidding.
But so basically when other zoos would want banded mongoose, I worked with population biologists. They would run numbers, we would look at genetics, and we would see who should breed with who, which baby should go to which zoo to be paired up. So a couple of these I actually brought in from Africa so that we could have new blood in the population. A lot of these offspring were all born here at the zoo. You know, going into the director role, it just became so busy and so time consuming. I kind of passed the baton to another zookeeper, but it just shows you that each one of these animals has a plan. Yeah. And whether it's lions, tigers, giraffes, there's someone that's managing that population within zoos. So these guys are kind of special to my heart because of that, because that's really where I got my start in the population management stuff. So.
And what is their like the favorite attribute of them that like kind of endeared you to them?
Well, a lot of times people think of meerkats. You see them on cartoons. They live in big colonies. So these guys are very similar to meerkats in that sense. So come from the same region. Their social dynamic is just amazing. You'll see when I throw these crickets in there how they fight for them, they run around. Their hierarchy, when there's a matriarch and the way she cares for her young and all the aunts and uncles take care of them, they're always busy, they're always doing something. I think they're just fun because people love watching them because they're always doing something.
Well, and you also said too that they wouldn't do well living alone.
They wouldn't, no. So you know when we talk about our ambassador animals, we were
Yes.
talking about that. These guys would not be a good ambassador animal because it would not be good for them to be going out and meeting groups, and they need to be living with their own kind. They need to have social interaction. They need to be able to be set up like this. So that's how we kind of pick and choose what's a good ambassador animal and what's not.
And so how many meerkats or mongoose do you have? And then is this the maximum number that you've ever had?
There's about 8 in here, and I think we've had up to 11 or 12 at
Wow.
one time. Yeah, I was telling you we lost Scarface.
Yeah.
We called him Scarface because he got in a bad fight and he had a big scar right here, but he was kind of dad to all of these. He lived to 19 years old. It was pretty amazing.
Is that the normal lifespan for
That is
a
actually
mongoose?
really old. It should have been about 14 or 15. We were shocked that he lived that long. But all these guys are still his offspring. So these are between the ages of anywhere from 4 to probably 8 years old. So not too old for this group.
And how often do they get crickets?
They get crickets for enrichment about every day, or
Okay.
this or bugs. And one cool fact about these guys is they actually are known to kill cobras. So it's
Really? Well, good, because I don't like them.
I know, and that's a known fact because I see kids talk about it all the time. I'm like, how many people know that? So it must just be a known thing about mongoose.
I did not know that.
They are very savvy, and they know how to. They'll get a snake like that. So
Wow.
yeah.
And besides the crickets, then what else do they eat?
Oh gosh, so they get all kinds of carnivore meat. They love yams. They love in the wild. They eat a lot of bird eggs. We give them hard-boiled eggs here. So they're pretty much carnivorous, but they do eat a little bit of the vegetables.
How is it when the zookeeper goes in to feed them? Do they scatter?
They are, yeah. They completely
they
will completely scatter, but then in a minute they'll come out and they'll start running around, and the keepers can do training with them and stuff like that. But they're a little careful with them.
I love that. So
Yeah.
let's talk about the zoo's getting ready to open.
Yeah.
And so for normal hours, and you have memberships. Tell us about the hours and the
Yeah,
membership.
we're kicking off the season. We can't wait. I can't believe winter's already over, and we got the Lantern Festival happening. We've got the baby giraffe Hadassah that's with the parents, and then like we always like to promote the memberships. We say it's a perfect time because a family of 4 can come to the zoo twice, and it pays for their entire membership.
And so when they get a membership, that means you can come anytime, all the time,
you
correct?
Can come, yeah, you can come anytime. You know, for the Lantern Festival that we're having at night, it just reduces the price because it's a fundraiser that we're doing. But daytime, regular operation hours, it's anytime. Lots of discounts, all that kind of stuff. So
I love that. Well,
Yep.
thank you, and thank you for all that you do for the zoo
Absolutely.
and all that you do for our community.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited to watch you feed the mongoose.
Okay.
For more information on the Potawatomi Zoo and to get a membership, check out your screen. You can visit their website at pottawatomizoo.org or give them a call at 574-235-9800, and you can check them out on Facebook.